Welcome to the Digital Amateur Television Experimenters Night. This is VK7OTC, the club station of the Radio and Electronics Association of Southern Tasmania. Amateur radio is a worldwide hobby that has many different aspects. Digital television is just one of the many modes and areas that are covered. Maybe you're interested in becoming involved in the DATV Experimenters Nights. You realise that you do not have to be a radio amateur or need any ATV equipment to participate anywhere in the world. Also participate in the night by coming up to the Queen's Domain club rooms. Yes, right on top of the Queen's Domain in the heritage-listed Coast Wireless Station. You never know, we might get you in front of the camera or behind doing one of the many roles during the night. We get underway with our program on a Wednesday night from 7:30 p.m. local time. We'll see you soon. This is VK7 OTC.
Just to that introduction again, so I apologise for that. No one had any volume. This is the Digital Amateur Television Experimenters Night, working from the shack number 12. Shack 2 is unlimited, and we've got Reg Emmett VK7KK in the green room, awaiting the interview. So thank you, Reg. We'll just do a reminder for people. They can call in on repeater 2 on 146 700. They can also call in on DMR talk group 3807. So that's available to everybody. So if you're actually watching this up in the northwest, on the northwest coast through VK7AX, you can call in via 3807. So it gives you the ability to get into the studio for questions or comments throughout or at the end of the particular program. We also have the YouTube streaming channel, the chat channel that goes with the stream, and Richard Hell at VK7ZBX. Thank you, Richard. Yep, I picked up there was no audio, and I hope that's a lot better now. So if you can give us some indication that that's a bit better, that would be fantastic. So what we will do is I'll bring Reg into the studio, and good evening, Reg. How would you be?
Well, good, thanks, Justin. Good evening to you and anyone else that's listening in.
Cool. How's your day been?
Pretty good. Yes, what did I do today? I spent the afternoon in the Rotary Club's bookshop at Howrah, so I can give a plug for that, can I?
Yeah, you can. Yes, well, very.
You can have books there at Howrah Point. Yeah.
So where is it in Howrah?
Howrah Point Shopping Centre, which is go down from Shoreline, and there's a little shopping centre right on the little Howrah beach. So
Okay.
it used to be a chemist shop, and the proprietor very kindly has given us use of the shop. So
fantastic. Well, I've learnt something already, Reg, because I didn't know that Rotary had a bookshop. So there you go.
Well, that publicity's not real good, is it? We've got to look after the other second-hand shops in the town that, we've got to pay wages and things, so, you can't come heavy too much.
Well and truly. No, well, excellent. So Reg, what I might do is I'll start off with a bit of a a question for yourself around, about yourself and about your history, and a bit about sort of where you grew up and your interests and all sorts of things. So I'll throw over to you. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'll kick off by apologising for not being in the actual radio shack. This is shack number 2. Because when you're an old bloke, you don't want to go outside your shack in the cold. And I am officially an old bloke now because, as you can see, I've got my OBE. Over bloody 80.
Over bloody 80.
So I thought that was...
Very good.
Okay. Well, I was brought up in Hobart, and we lived in Lena Valley.
Okay.
Father was an accountant at Frank Hammond, who used to be a shipping agent and cartage contractor before they were taken over.
Okay.
So, I don't really know where my interest in technical stuff came from because, it certainly wasn't there, but I've always had an interest in science and that sort of thing. And actually my amateur radio interest came from my young brother.
Okay.
And here we are in uniforms.
My goodness.
There were 3.5 years between us.
And which school, Reg?
I was in Hobart Technical High School.
Okay.
This one. And my brother was in Hobart High.
Okay.
In the olden days, you had an ability test. You had to say, I want to go to Hobart High School first choice.
Yep.
You set this ability test in grade 6, and if you got a good enough mark, you went. But I didn't put Hobart High as my first choice because I wanted to be a radio technician.
Oh, okay.
So Hobart Technical High School sounded as though it was the place to go, so I put that number 1. But it just really didn't work out too well because when I got there, they put me in what they called the professional class. So you had to learn French and extra maths and all that sort of thing, and not the technical. So that was a squash, wasn't it? Anyway, we kept going. So, and I guess I sort of always was interested in science.
Yeah.
And my young brother got sort of mad about amateur radio, and he used to go in after school to Watson's Wireless in Collins Street, which are out near Deloraine now, and there was a core of amateurs in there, like Barney Watson, 7ZAK, and Jeff Dimden, 7ZAS, and they also attracted, I think, 7MY, and a little bit later Ian Philby, 7Z. So he used to worry them after. And also I think Prin's Radio down in the City Hall that Bob G eventually bought out or was given. So, he was interested in amateur radio. But the trouble was, in those days you couldn't sit the exam until you're 15. And you couldn't get a licence until you're 16. So Big Brother had to get his licence first. So I got my licence just after I started uni, when I was 18, 1958. And it was a year or two before we got things going there.
Okay.
I found this photo, which showed one of my early radio shacks.
Look at that Edison receiver.
Yeah, an Edison 640.
I love it.
It was built like a battleship.
That was my first receiver, Reg.
Oh, good. And I guess we have probably converters, VHF converters in there somewhere.
Yep.
Might have been up there. I sort of tend to hoard things too, I don't seem to throw out enough stuff. So over here on the right hand side we had what we eventually developed into a 6 and 2 metre station. I suppose we started off with things like converted 522, the old 2 metre rig that we bought from Worth and Dan or Strictly Ham Radio Supplies in Melbourne. This bloke up here is a converted number 19 set. We took the transmitter bit out of it and made it into a receiver. That was the receiver before this one came along, before the 6.
Okay.
So this is our VHF station.
Yep.
And, this was the 6 metre rig. It had a pair of 6146s.
Yep. Okay.
They're not in there at the moment for some reason. And we had a very sophisticated remote VFO.
Woo.
Okay. In those days of valves, drift was a bit of a problem, so we had the tune circuit separate with a couple of coax tubes going to it.
Yeah.
To treat.
And this was all valve equipment, wasn't it? It was. Yeah. This.
Oh yeah, this was 1960s, those sorts of times.
Okay.
Yeah. And then that's the 2 metre rig.
Oh yes. Oh, I recognise that.
Driven by an 832.
Yeah.
And a couple of lecture lines and a tuning thing here, which were silver plated by Hobart Technical High School. I did a good job of that. So, that was actually, I must admit that most of this RF work my brother built.
Okay.
I sort of tended to build the modulators and the power supplies and things like that, whereas he was the RF expert.
Okay.
But, it was, they were great days for VHF operation, because you're a junior, you sort of had all January, most February off, and very often there the meter band was open all day, It was 5 and 9 signals belted through from people like 4ZAX, and these were the good heady days. It was just of course just after Z calls came in, so calls I think came in 1954, and we had people like 7ZAI, Dave Thorne, and I think Mike Jenner's been talking about some of his days then when he was around. ZAV.
When the Magic Band was.
It was magic. And it's hard to get enthusiastic about 6 meters now because you compare it to them then, so it was good. But we didn't have JAs and all that sort of stuff that you had a few years later, but it was still good.
So on 2 metres back in those days, what sort of distances were you getting on 2 metres? What?
Well, actually, we worked sporadically through to Queensland.
Wow.
I think, I'm not sure whether it was Will for I. The VK record for 2 for a week or two.
Yeah.
That was good.
Okay.
One of the other things, I'll show you this. This is a letter from VK7LZ.
Ooh, okay. 1962.
Yeah, 1962. And Cole Wright had his station, getting a bit of feedback there, right? Had his station down in the centre of Launceston.
Yep.
And he was hearing us on 2 metres from Hobart, and he was most disgusted that we couldn't hear him. And obviously, our receiver was good enough to hear the people down at Sandy Bay and New Norfolk and, Bill Reeve and so on, so we didn't sort of think of anything wider than that, but of course they had pipes through to VK3 on Launceston on temperature inversions.
Yeah.
So they got so frustrated that Peter Fripp station up into Evandale operated from there and worked through to us from there, but eventually did get through to Cole Wright. So we had contacts between the centre of down sea level Hobart and sea level Launceston.
Yeah. Okay.
So that was good stuff on 2 metres. But we did do further because, as I say, it was the Z call in flux at that stage, and we I guess we're a bit like novice licenses now. We were a few years ago. We felt it was them and us. So, the old codger set up the front of the street on the cushions, and the VHF fellow set up the back. So
young whippersnappers,
we set up a VHF group. We made on the alternate Wednesday nights.
Okay.
And we did a bit of hilltopping and so on. In fact, the VHF group owned a long 2-metre yagi.
Okay.
Next to the side of Channel 6's building on the Mount Wellington.
Okay.
Anybody who wanted to go up there and operate a bit of long distance 2-metre stuff could go up there and plug into the area, and away you go.
I love it.
And of course we stayed the odd night there too. Now in those days, an operator staying all night.
Yeah.
So we had good fun with that.
So was that where you would be operating the well into sort of VK and other states? Is that from up there, or?
The theory was you could sort of bounce into some of the temperature inversions across Bass Strait.
Yeah. Okay.
Of course, that was Mount Wellington was a bit high for that.
Yeah.
So, but you tend to work people in Launceston, and if you were lucky, you might work into Geelong, and that's
okay. Okay.
So that was good fun.
Fantastic.
We also, the VHF group also had little projects. This thing called what was it, Sharing? Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah, called a communicator. Had a super regen receiver and a 5763 was it? 5763 doubler as the output.
Okay.
And everybody built up these things, and we got a bit more activity on 2 metres, and you could stick them in your car and.
So crystal lock by the look of it.
It's crystal locked.
And
1.1.
Yep. And AM.
Yes, AM. It was all AM.
Lovely.
And there were people around the place that were building kits. This is called an IG. I think there's somebody from Gippsland put it out as a kit.
Okay.
This was good. You had like 1, 2, 3, 5 channels there.
Oh, solid state too.
And I think we must have put a preamp in it.
Yep.
And one was the transmitter board and the modulator board, and this was all the receiver, obviously.
Crystal filter. Yeah.
They were good fun days.
Wow.
So I guess we did lots of things like having fox hunts and so on. So this was really the heights of AM operation.
So how many were in the VHF group, to give us an idea?
I'd say 10, 15 perhaps.
Okay.
Something like that. They tend to gave out call signs, in alphabetical order then, and my call sign was VK7ZAO, and my brother got VK7ZAQ, a couple of years later. So, and that was the sort of order.
Yeah.
And we had 2 metres on Sunday night. We'd probably have half a dozen people on.
Yep.
On a bit of a skate on Sunday night.
Did you all have to sort of net together? Is that on AM? It's sort of, or was it wide enough that it?
Oh no, she was broad as a barn door. You didn't really have to tune for anybody, I don't think.
Yeah. Okay.
But, if you did, you probably just had to get your crystal out and sort of grind a little bit, or put a bit of mercuric chrome on it or something. I think they used.
I love it.
Yeah. Well, I finished my science school uni and became a science teacher.
Yep.
And the first couple of years I spent it at New Norfolk.
Right.
So I was living at home then. Then I started touring the country a little bit. My next teaching job was at Latrobe High School.
Wow.
So I went to the northwest coast.
Yep.
And this is a slightly more recent photo, but where the arrow is here was where my next station was. So I took my gear up here and set it up in science department here, and was able to be a part of the northwest coast VHF scene. So I remember when I left, the principal said, "I didn't mind seeing the light song and the science block late at night." He knew that I was there and the kids were getting some benefit from my participation in electronics, because a lot of these schools had activity day, and of course I always put myself down to take electronics for these activity days. So, you know, even though you mightn't have got a lot of amateurs out, got a lot of kids tinkering with electronics anyway.
Okay. So did you have? I recognise that shot. Did you have a sort of an amateur radio club when you were at Latrobe, or was it just more electronics? It was.
No, I didn't at Latrobe.
Okay.
Well, we did actually. I only had a Z corp there. So I think, you know, we would have the equipment. That's, you know, having the equipment there. You know, we probably arranged skids with probably somebody like Winston Nichols or Harry Young, Devonport, or somebody like that.
Okay.
And I can't remember very clearly, but I think, you know, we would have made use of it for that.
Okay.
We certainly did in school, so I had 2 years up there.
Yep.
Then I came back south, you know, as Southerners seem to do, and I didn't set up a lot of equipment here. I think I had a long wire, but schools like this were good for amateur radio because it's easy to get aerials up there.
Yeah.
There's 3 stories property. You had a light well and view.
Yep.
So before the days of OH&S and all that sort of stuff, you turn her up onto the roof and stick aerials up to your heart's content. So that was good.
You get a student to do it,
Well, even in those days, you know, I could squeeze through a high window in the top of a classroom and B block.
Yeah. And for those who don't know, this is Taroona High School.
Yes. I spent the first day of my second year down here on the beach because I was there in 1967 for the bushfires.
Oh, okay. Yes,
We had to evacuate everybody down the beach because the power was out and we couldn't see your hand in your face.
Yep.
No buses or anything like that, so we were down on the beach here till about 6 o'clock before the first buses came through.
Yeah, okay.
Because a lot of our kids came from down the channel because Kingston High School wasn't then.
Yeah.
So we were at high school.
My goodness, what did they go home to? Yes.
Well, they didn't.
Yeah, exactly.
We sent them off to kids in town.
Yeah, okay.
We met them with kids in town and wrote their names on bits of paper and said, you know, this kid's gone to so-and-so. And
yep.
Parents ring up days afterwards, you know, we've got a kid over. I think, we'll see if we can find them. I ran electronics class here. I had a little keen kid in my grade 8 maths class.
Oh, yes.
By the name of Andrew Dixon.
Oh, there you go. Who is back in Hobart?
Oh, he's come back to Sydney now.
Oh, is he? Oh, okay.
He's back in Sydney, yeah.
Okay.
We sort of have, some of the Eastern Shore amateurs have coffee every Wednesday morning. We're now on Zoom, so Andrew Dixon joins us with his
I love it.
Zoom coffee shop.
I love it.
Yeah. So, Taroona, the lab technician also got mad on electronics too, which always was a plus.
Yeah.
So that was good.
Oh, very good. Very good.
At the end of that year, I got a promotion to head of science department.
Okay.
So I moved up to Deloraine.
Right.
Back up to the northern road.
Yep.
And this is where I stayed at Deloraine, in a flat there on the main road.
Okay.
Which is still there, so obviously still there because I got this from Google. So I put a station up there. Again, you know, I had electronics groups, but I don't think we did anything much amateur radio-wise there. But 2 or 3 things of note happened when I was at Deloraine. I can't see the time there. I suppose you tell me if I talk too much, won't you?
Yeah, no, keep going. This is
2 or 3 things happened here. Number 1, I remember Armstrong walked on the moon. It was the year that happened.
Yep.
We all sat down in the science lab and watched that. The second thing is I got my CW.
Oh, okay.
So I got a full call there, and I tried to get it at 12 words per minute and didn't too well, so they took pity on it and took it down to 12 words per minute.
Yep.
So I took myself up to the local postmaster at the Deloraine Post Office and I did my Morse test at 12 words per minute.
Fantastic.
And the postmaster loved every minute of it. You know, not sure that how many of those he had, but it was good.
Okay.
The next thing that happened, I got reminded by Peter Dow talking about early repeaters in Launceston.
Yep.
I was sort of listening on 2 metres here. I was hearing all these mobile stations around Launceston. I thought, that's funny. I'm that good at in the Launceston. I tried to call, didn't get any results or anything like that. And
yep.
I couldn't sort of work what was happening. And I had a bash on the door. And it was John Van Staveren, 7JV. He says, don't you take any notice of what you are hearing. He says, well, we're at a repeater station. And it was at Peter Dow's place in Talbot Road.
Yep.
And obviously I didn't have permission to do it.
Right.
So I was embarrassing them. Never mind.
I love it.
I think the other thing I learned a couple of things there. I learned to drive tractors because I joined the Apex Club, and
Okay.
when they had a job driving tractors, they were all sick of driving tractors, so they made the county drive a tractor.
Yeah. Okay.
Anyway, it was all good fun for a couple of years.
Yep. Yeah.
Then I applied for a job in Launceston, and I got appointed to Kings Meadows, which was more of a prestige sort of a job.
Yeah.
And again, this is a new photo of the school, but
Yeah.
in those days, again, it had a 2-story block here in the middle here where you could camera up in the roof and put up aerials. Now, of course, we could do things a bit better. We had a 283 beam up on.
Woo. Okay.
And we took out a call sign, VK7MK.
Yep.
And in this year, the 70s and 80s, was the period where I was most active in things and when most things really happened.
Okay.
At that stage, when did novice licences come in? 1974, I think.
Yeah, around that mid-70s.
But anyway, there was such a thing as called a youth radio club scheme.
Okay.
It was pitched a little bit like Boy Scout caps or badges or whatever they call it. You know, they had a syllabus designed for school kids.
Okay.
And you could do an elementary one and then an intermediate and a senior, and it stepped its way right up to this sort of equivalent of almost an amateur radio licence.
Okay.
And it was designed to help electronic clubs. I always seemed to get the job of education coordinator, and I was the YRCS coordinator for Tasmania, and
Right.
it's quite a strong Australia-wide organisation.
Okay.
You know, we had annual conferences. It was
Wow.
run by Rex Black, VK2YA, I think, from Miss Lakes
Yep.
Radio Club.
Okay.
And I supplied materials to various schools around the place. I remember one of them was Novice College. There was a
Yep.
year 11 kid, I think he was there, that looked after us there by the name of Andrew Boone. SMJW. So,
AW, yes.
yeah, he was running electronics class up there and he doing this radio thing.
Okay.
And of course we were doing that at Kings Meadows, but we went a bit more than that because an easier way rather than trying to encourage schools to do it, we had a Saturday morning radio group.
Right.
And I sort of hauled Wally Morford into helping.
Okay.
Wally Morford was VK7ZWX, or he still is. And we had a Saturday morning club. We had, 50 kids, something like that, some all around Launceston there.
Wow. Okay.
And we, of course, operated our station, and we
Yep.
worked our way through these certificates, and
Okay.
we got a few people amateur radio licences,
Yep. Okay.
particularly after, when the novice came in. We had Tony Polloway was one I remember,
Okay.
and another kid from Queechee, can't remember his name, but excuse me, I can also drop a few names like James Howard Davis, who's a computer trader in Hobart.
Yeah.
He drop in now and again.
Okay.
and what's he, professor, is he? David Warren.
Oh, okay, yes.
Who gave, 3.8 million to the University of Tasmania not long ago?
Well and truly.
Yeah, so he was also, he was around there at that time, so it worked pretty well.
Well and truly. Was the Youth Radio Club scheme, was that supported by the WIA? Was that a WIA associated scheme, was it?
Yes, it was.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure how much financial support they gave it, but probably all they really did was produce certificates and had, as I say, they had a con, which I'm sure I was paid to go to. I wouldn't, as a bachelor, giving money out to go to that, I don't think. But yeah, so that was it sort of faded away when novice licences came in.
Yeah.
You know, that provided a different avenue.
Yeah. Okay.
So once novice licences came in, because we held novice courses and we held them at Kings Meadows High School. Again, there was no such thing as caretakers at night, no HMS and all that sort of stuff. So we school.
So the radio club was open. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Oh, very good.
We also held the Adult Education Board in Ronnie.
Okay.
Northern Zone, as it was then, used to meet there now and again.
Yep. Okay.
As their meeting place, I think. So it was good time at Kings Meadows High School.
So Reg, is that a bit of a segue? Because I'm interested in sort of the WIA and that sort of thing, or is that a bit later in the
This is where it all happened.
Oh, okay, cool.
I'll throw that one in. I don't remember these kids' name, but I remember that was 7ZLD Fun.
Okay.
Fun system.
And that's a scope soldering iron. I recognise that because I've got one.
Whoops. Call share. Yeah, around 1974, the Northern with the Wilders Institute, Northern Zone, was very, very active and very strong at that time.
Yep.
And we were getting rather disgruntled about things because the way the WIA was structured in Tasmania was that there was a council that was elected, and there was a meeting which was held in the club rooms in Hobart, which gave to the council and so on. If you wanted to become a member of the WIA, your name had to go to the general meeting and be approved. If you wanted to discuss anything that was going to be talked about at the Federal Convention, it was discussed at the meeting in Hobart, and the council would give directions what to do and all that sort of thing. I may be exaggerating that a little bit, but that's the sort of feeling.
Yeah. Okay.
And up north there was Northern Zone, Northwest Coast, the Northwestern Zone, who were self-contained bodies.
Yep.
So we thought that really wasn't the way we should run it. So around that time, we got together, and this was the context of the motion.
Ooh, okay.
Following amendments, the Tasmania Division Constitution be made to allow the division to operate three branches under council jurisdiction. So we wanted the north, the northwest, and the south to be basically of equal value.
Yep.
And they elected members to the council, who was sort of an overriding thing. And on the right-hand side were the people that would have signed this.
Yep.
You're from
Van Stavron, Carter,
most of them
Dowd,
still around, you notice.
Yeoman.
John Van Stavron no longer with us.
Yep.
Bill Carter isn't with us, but there was Murphy and Peter Dowd and Wally Morfitt and Brian Yeoman.
Yep.
And we had Phil Corby, 7ZAX, who set it all up. Incidentally, 7ZAX was in my brother's class at school. And that's how they got together with that.
I love it.
And of course, at that stage I was in Launceston, but you never really in Hobart as far as people are concerned. So, I had strong contacts in Hobart. I had a couple of years on the Northwest Coast, so I was part of the Northwest Coast and now part of North. So it wasn't very hard to get 100 proxy votes around the state. So we did that. Unfortunately, of course, the people in Hobart weren't pleased with this when they heard about it, so they had a argument. I don't know whether you can read it, but these 4 members of council should be resident in headquarters area. So they suggested having a headquarters area. So if the Northern Branch is very active at this time, they could probably be the headquarters area.
Yep.
And they would have 4 council members and so on.
Yep.
So the status quo down there signed this: Tom Allen, Joe Brown, Lon Jensen, Bob O'May and Ian Nichols.
Yep.
Of course, we sort of didn't decide to do this year by accident. What happens with the annual general meeting of the Institute alternated between parts of the state.
Yep. Okay.
And that year it was designated to be at the Gateway Inn at Devonport.
Right.
So we were on home territory.
Yep.
Anyway, this got through, and we then sort of with a northern branch rather than the northern zone.
Okay.
And again, the north, the northern branch, as I said, was pretty strong at that time.
Yep.
So we tried to make up a council structure that represented the state. We had to prove this word.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
So we had a southerner as president, Merv Conway, and I think I was secretary.
Yeah. You appear quite a bit on the honour roll in the club.
Yeah, it was all in this period. I spent some time as president and secretary and various other things. I was also spent a bit of time as federal councillor for a couple of years.
Yeah, okay.
And Ted Cruz wanted the rest.
Yep.
Peter Frith went. I think I went as deputy, and Joe Gilston had a turn and so on. So we were doing lots of things up in the Northwest Coast, and I just noticed this too. It was a particularly active time. This was when CB radio was a bit of a thing. So as president, I put in a submission saying that we wanted the UHF bands to be used as CB radio.
Yeah.
Tried things going, and we had strong representations. I remember Max Burr as member of Parliament at that time. We got him on side pretty well. So it was a lot of fun and games around that time.
You mover and shaker, you. Yeah.
Yeah, well, it was good fun. Well, this is another mover. Here's another mover and shaker. Something called QRM magazine.
Yep.
The division in their wisdom, prior to 1974, decided the bulletin was only going to be published every second month.
Yeah.
They had this monthly bulletin that was sent out as information. And we thought that wasn't good enough. We want a monthly.
Yep.
So we started up something called QRM, because, a bit of interference.
Yeah. I love it.
Don Van Stavro and I sort of kicked it off, and he was the editor, and we were all up. We had a printer at Kings Meadows High School.
Okay.
But as you said, it eventually took over as the Tasmanian Bulletin.
Yes, well and truly.
In the interim measure, we took subscriptions from people outside the Northern Branch and sort of built it up, but eventually it was the Tasmanian Bulletin.
I love it. And can I just say there is a full set of QRMs in the library, in the state library. So yeah.
I couldn't find any of the earlier ones. Actually, I had a few of them. I've got a few of them, but not very many.
No, there's a full set that we donated to the library. So.
Oh, good. I'd like to look at the first couple.
It's very interesting reading. It's fascinating reading, actually.
Yeah, good. I just sort of mention, I'm looking for a slide here. Here it is. Here it is. Let's have this one. I mentioned, Northern Branch very active.
Yep.
We had annual cricket matches between the Northwest at Port Royal and those sorts of things. We had a Christmas party for all the kids.
Oh, fantastic.
We noticed Joe Gelston here.
There you go.
With the field next to him.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. This Yankee bloke was me.
Ah.
And
Very
that's
good.
our son there, Ashley.
Okay.
I don't know whether that's Lynn Ellings, not sure. But anyway, as I say, we had lots of social activities with families and all those sorts of things, and it worked well.
Okay.
But all good things come to an end. So Annette and I decided things were a bit too comfortable up in Launceston.
Okay.
So we decided, Annette was sort of in charge of the home arts department, I was in charge of the science department.
Okay.
So the art teacher did a cartoon for when we left, and with all the cooking gear and all that sort of stuff, and leftovers, baskets used to carry around. There's my ute, the aerial on the top, and some radio gear here, and science equipment and all the rest of it. Then property, and they'd have to push me to make me go.
Oh, very good.
We headed off to Hobart, and I got a job at Rokeby High School.
Yep. Yep.
It sort of just went and found the next job. She was acting principal at Sorrel for a while before she got a job in curriculum services.
Yep. Okay.
And we eventually we built a house down here at Acton Park, and it's got a good look out towards the east.
Yep.
And the north. In fact, I can hear the Don Head beacon on 2 metres.
Okay. Okay.
And in the old days when there was Mount Barrow repeater,
Yes.
I could get into that without any trouble.
Yep.
But of course, going the other way to Hobart,
Yes. Me and Rage.
because we even get our TV from single hill translator, so it's not a real good look out that way. But anyway, I didn't do very much in the amateur radio scene for a while. I was still education officer. I had novice classes and examining and all that sort of thing. Excuse me. But when it came to retire, excuse me. I'll do. When it came to retire, I thought, well, now it's my chance to get back into amateur radio and get enthused again.
Yep.
So, but it didn't sort of happen. When I retired when I was in 1995, I was sort of got trapped into other jobs. I was looking after a couple of Rotary websites.
Yep.
To just state one and another one, which I'll mention in a minute. I got a part-time job with the education department as a IT consultant, looking after school timetables.
Okay.
I did training exercises and that, with software testing, and ran a help desk and visited all the schools around the state and all this other stuff. And probably enjoyed that job more than anything else that I've done. But I also mentioned I did something to looked after a Rotary website for a mob called the Rotary Australia World Community Service. Okay. And we sort of were support for 400 projects in the South Pacific and some extent in Africa, but not the Pacific region.
Wow.
I set up an SQL database for it and all this sort of stuff. Eventually it grew too big to me when they got, taking over $20 million a year. They could afford to run professionals, so I got out of that. But one of the projects we went on and had a look at was in Fiji. Okay. And this is our team from Hobart. And we built these cyclone-proof houses.
Okay.
We were there for a fortnight, and we built 2 of these.
Yep.
They've got about 300 in the settlement, and they have, you know, a good economic support. They encourage, you know, people to do the right thing.
Yep.
And these things are cyclone-proof. Oh, come back. Which one do I want? That one. And you might see it there. But every single joint in the place is strapped.
Yeah, okay.
You know, so she's everything's tied down solid. So
It's not going anywhere. Yeah.
things get blown away in cyclones. None of these get affected.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were good value. And then, you know, built the framework and screwed on metal stuff on the outside of it. And
Cool.
that was good fun. So, you know, we did a few other trips around the world with Rotary and stayed with Rotary people and that sort of thing.
Yep.
And one of the things that Rotary does is every year they have a international convention. And we happened to be in America around the time of 2005 one, which was the 100th.
Okay.
And there's an organisation called ROAR,
Right.
Rotarians of Amateur Radio,
Okay.
ROAR.
Yep.
And in Chicago, every year they sort of set up an amateur station. They had one in Sydney a few years ago. They actually had a station up the Central Coast that they remotely controlled.
Okay.
So this one shows that, you know, I did a bit of operating from Chicago.
Cool.
But their station was in this Red Cross emergency vehicle.
Wow. Impressive.
I guess it had, you know, radio equipment built into it,
Yeah.
but quite a bit else too. That was the mast that sat on the top of the vehicle.
Yeah, okay.
Got a beam on the top.
Okay.
And that was the driver's seat. They had a fair bit of gear in there.
Wow. Okay.
And this is what's in the back. Now, you know, I'm impressed with the old man from Joe Gelston, but, you know, I think there's a bit of one up there, isn't it?
That's very impressive.
Yeah, another place we went to was in Sweden.
Okay.
In Sweden, they had this station in the 1920s that used to send Morse code traffic to the States.
Okay.
And I don't know what sort of thing that is, but
Wow. Yeah.
you go to places when you're with Rotary members that you mightn't otherwise see.
Yeah. Okay.
And that's the RF generator.
Ah. Okay.
It generates at 16 kilohertz.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
So she chugs away there. That was an interesting thing to see.
Well and truly.
Yeah. Whoops. Poor share. Get me organised. Okay. Well, that's sort of a little bit of me.
Okay. Okay.
I guess I better show you. So that's the other shack.
Cool.
But as I mentioned, it's a sort of, you know, from the arc a little bit.
No.
This old thing. And probably the only things worth having were things I bought when I retired. So I bought a 706
Yep.
and a 910,
Yep.
which has got 1296 in it.
Okay.
Well, that's really the only gear of any consequence. I bought one of these. You say, you know, what do you got on the bench? Well, the only thing I've really got on the bench is a patch lead so I can run digital on this rig.
Okay.
And I can say to these people in town, you know, I can see you on the waterfall.
Waterfall. Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
So I'll get around to that one day.
Fantastic.
Probably the major problem in this place is aerials.
Right.
So that's a 2 metre rig and a 70 centimetre rig.
Yep.
And you'll notice the 2 metre rig has lost, it's got sort of a phase, it's lost its reflector and half a student element.
Yep.
But that's all very well, and you say, we'll get it down and fix it, and the black cockatoos can have a go, having another go. But the problem is, I've got a lower up down here.
Right.
And my son, our son, who's gone to Sydney, has left behind 2 4-wheel drive neither of which are mobile.
Ah,
And I've got to get that beam laid down.
right.
So problem. Yeah, but I even have problems throwing wires into trees at this age too. So, you know.
Well, you can always ask for help, Reg.
I know, that's right. And I thought, well, this is my second shack.
Yeah. Okay.
So, you know, 2 metre mobile up there, and I've got a hotspot for.
Yep.
Because I can't get into the repeaters very easily.
Yep. Okay.
I've got one of these ADB receivers for the aircraft, which
Okay.
goes like a whiz.
Well and truly.
Gave you that.
You overlook the airport, so it's
That's
yeah.
right. See them half 2/3 the way across that straight, which is good.
Yeah. Okay.
But, you know, one thing I sort of haven't missed, you sort of mentioned about. There were two things that I've forgotten about. One of them you mentioned early, microwave experiments. I don't know where you got that from, but I don't admit to doing anything with that.
Okay.
However, my brother, around about 1970, claims he was the first person to work across Bass Strait on 23 centimetres.
Oh,
He
okay.
was working up at Burnie at the time. He was a chemist with dioxide.
Righto.
And he had skids with Ron Wilkinson, 3AKC in Geelong.
Yeah.
And they got through on 23 centimetres. Rolf had built up a homemade dish, which he calculated mathematically,
Okay.
and flyaway dish, and got through reliably there. He found on 2 metres, through every, you know, he got through consistently every day.
Yeah. Okay.
2 metres on AM. These are all AM. So
Okay.
that was good.
Oh, very good.
I was going to mention in passing, you know, when in the 1970s, we were married in 1975, so Annette was teaching high school. Prior to that, I had a house in Launceston.
Yep.
The third bedroom was the radio shack, which was always very good in those sort of days. And Joe Gelston was along the road, so we had no problem mounting mobile radios on the new Volvos.
Yep.
I had no drilling a hole in the centre of the room, putting the wires down, and I still use it to thread wires through bulkheads. Screwdriver ramming through the wire follower. So people like that.
I love it.
Well, that's some of my story. I was very. The Wildest Institute gave me life membership.
Yes.
And I guess I'm the only one left in Tasmania with that.
Yeah, you would be actually. Yeah.
It's a bit sobering, isn't it?
So when were you given life membership? Do you remember the date?
No, but it'll be on the certificate, I reckon. Oh no, it wouldn't be because they reissued them, didn't they?
Yeah. Actually, it'd probably be on the honour roll.
Yeah, Bob John Rogers was given it the same year, and it was up at the Menai Hotel in Burnie.
Okay.
I think Joe Gelston.
Yep, that's correct.
Prior to that.
So, well, there you go. That's fantastic, Reg. I'm just interested in exploring the VHF group. Where was the club rooms at that stage, Reg?
147 Liverpool Street.
Okay.
Upstairs, 147 Liverpool Street.
Yep. Okay. And until recently, there was still an antenna on that roof.
I remember seeing that. Yeah.
I think it's fallen over now, but it's been taken down. I used to walk past there and go, yes.
Yeah, that's right. They did broadcasts and things from there.
Yep.
It was used quite a bit.
Yeah. Okay. And sort of from a meeting perspective, how many would they get along to a meeting and in those days?
I'd say 20 to 30, something like that.
Okay. Okay.
They had, good keynote speakers like Great Reba and
Yeah. Okay.
people of the ilk.
Okay.
I still remember a talk from a traffic engineer, and I thought, well, if I have my time again, I'll be a traffic engineer. It was impressive.
Okay.
But yeah.
Oh no, fantastic. And then there was the
ran an equipment store from there. They had quite a stack of stuff. The days people were building their own.
Yep. Okay. Okay. And then with the
should have mentioned that Lee Gunther. What was his course on? RG was. Anyway, an American, I think he was, wasn't he?
Yeah.
He ran a thing to what we did at Kings Meadows on Saturday morning.
Okay.
From the club rooms in the street.
Yep. Okay. And sort of Kings Meadows High School sounds like it was a bit of a sort of a hub for the northern activity. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yes, I guess it was. We ran, as I say, adult classes and things there, and
yep.
we had access to a station. There's one of the teachers there was Graham Reardon, who came 7ZGG, so he got broken in with doing that. And he spend. It was easy. I could stand back and spend. It was still a novelty for him, so he could spend time in the air and lunch times and things like that. Mm.
And you mentioned adult ed. So there was actually a course that you were running for adult ed in what electronics or something, is that?
It was a novice licence course.
Oh, okay.
I'm not sure whether we could call it a novice licence course, but I think Harvey Skeeg did something like that down here too.
Okay.
So and unfortunately the participants had to pay for it.
Yeah.
And unfortunately the instructor got paid.
Yeah. Okay.
And they duplicated materials and that sort of stuff.
Yep.
Yeah, and it was probably prestigious having a novice radio course mentioned in their course booklets.
Oh, well and truly. Yes. Unfortunately, adult ed is a memory these days. It's
that's true.
Long gone, which is very unfortunate. So yeah, okay. No, well, that's fantastic, Reg. That's a huge bit of huge bit of your history, but also a huge bit of Tasmanian amateur radio history, I think, in there from quite a while ago. So thank you very much for sharing that. What we might do is I'll open it up to anybody who is wanting to ask a question or a comment. So I'll just put out a bit of a question on the chat channel here, and see any questions while we're waiting there. I'll put out a call on. This is VK7 OTC. Just putting out a call for anyone wanting to put in a question or comment around our interview with Reg VK7KK. This is VK7 OTC listening.
VK7 Victor Hotel. Thank you very much, Justin. Thank you, Reg. What a great show this evening. I'm watching via RF on 70 centimetres, and I have fond memories of back in the 70s of the northwest branch of the WIA. We used to meet at a place called Laken's Hall in Ulverston, and I wonder whether or not Reg ever got along to some of those meetings.
My word.
I have even met him and not remembered. Anyway, thanks again, Reg. Great information, and thanks very much, Justin.
We'll go across to Reg. Do you remember Laken's Hall?
Oh my word! Suppers were great. They took country hospitality. Yeah.
Oh, fantastic.
Good.
Okay. Thanks, Vince. VK7BH, VK7 OTC. Thanks for the comments. Any further questions or comments? Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead, Ron. VK7RM, VK7OTC.
Good evening, Reg. Yeah, very interesting. I started out very early when I was in the Scouts, and they had their own station, VK7BS, up in South Hobart, and the Edison 640 was my first communications receiver.
Love it.
And talking about how they were dead, I attended some novice classes there with Tom Moffat and I think it was Andrew Byrne, and as you said, Harvey also did it. So great times, and thanks for the presentation.
Thanks, Ron.
Oh, very good. VK7R and VK7OTC. Thanks, Ron. Any further comments? Go ahead. Okay, nothing heard. I'll head to DMR and see whether there's any comments there, which is probably good because I think the battery's about to go flat in this handheld. So good stuff. Thanks for the comments. Okay. And VK7OTC putting out a call for any comments or questions for Reg VK7KK and our DATV experimenters night. Any comments or questions for Reg VK7KK from our DATV night? This is VK7OTC. No, nothing heard? Okay, that's all right. We've got something coming back there, but I'm not hearing anything. That's one of the things with DMR when you have the little light that says you've got activity, but you're not hearing it because it's on another talk group. So
This GA is on 105.
Thanks. VK2HTV, VK3, going back to listening.
yeah, on 505. And I haven't got any questions come through on the chat channel, Reg. So I think we'll call it quits at that. And I thank you very, very much for your time and fantastic history. And your can I just say your lifelong dedication to being an educator. I think that's a huge history of getting people interested in science and technology and amateur radio. I just blown away about that. It's
Poking something else.
Yeah, go for it.
During my retirement, I also taught electronics at Rosny College.
Oh, okay.
I got the slide out of sequence, and I forgot that because I think Ben would be made. I didn't mention his. We at Rosny College we had VK7ACR.
Okay.
Amateur station. I was teaching electronics there, and of course Ben was very active in that time and got me interested in there. So that was good. Good
Fantastic. Fantastic, and I don't know whether Ben's watching or not tonight. I know he's an apology. He said he wasn't coming up tonight, but one of the key things about this is it is being recorded and will be available on the Reese YouTube channel around about lunchtime tomorrow. It takes a little while for it to encode. But it will be available for people to watch into the future. And I've got a thank you from Richard Howell at VK7ZCR. Very informative talk. So there's a great comment. And I have no doubt there's probably some thank yous from next door. They're watching it on the screen in there. So I don't know whether there's I'll just put out a call. Any questions from our club rooms? Please make your way into the ATV studio if there is. So yeah.
I have to send the link to my brother who's VK5 in.
Oh, okay.
inactive at the moment.
Okay. Fantastic. So thank you very much, Reg. That's been excellent, and it's now set in video concrete, I suppose you'd say.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
So thank you very much, and we'll.
And thanks.
Yeah, no problems at all. So have a good rest of the night, and regards to Annette, and we'll catch you next time round, probably on 23 centimetres on a Sunday morning.
Yeah, okay.
All right. Thanks, Reg. Okay, let's go. All right. So that was a fantastic meeting with an interview with Reg Emmett VK7KK. Now I've just got a few things to finish off before we get to our videos. Just a bit of a reminder, the messages that went out on the broadcast. Firstly, a huge thank you to Paul Pruss, VK7 FPCL, who is our clubrooms officer, and is putting in a huge effort to keep our clubrooms COVID safe between our gatherings. So huge thank you to Paul. And just a reminder, next Saturday, so this coming Saturday, the 11th of July, we're holding a sale of all sorts of stuff. There's a huge amount of aluminium tubing there. There's a huge amount of coax. There are a bunch of new coax connectors of a variety of types. And a whole lot of other things. So we've got a sale. It's for 2 hours only, from 10 a.m. through until midday. So it's our Reist decluttering sale, and that's to make some room for the next Saturday, which is the 18th of July, which is our deconstruction day. So what we're doing is cleaning out the clubrooms so that we can go through and redecorate and repaint and repair and do all sorts of things with the clubrooms over that following week. So if you are prepared to come up with a ladder or a drill or a pair of screwdrivers or whatever, then Tony VK7VKT, who is secretary at reist.asn.au, would love to hear from you. And if you can let him know that you're coming up, and give him an idea about what you're going to be bringing up to help with that. There is a yummy free lunch that's going to be supplied to those people who come up, so there's a bit of an incentive to come up. But we're cleaning out the clubrooms ready so that we can repaint and do a whole lot of things. And then on that following week, it is basically we're putting the clubrooms back together in the format that members would like it put back in. So if you've got a little bit of feedback about what you would like to see in the clubrooms, or how you would like to see the clubrooms cleaned up or whatever, please shoot Tony an email or contact him, and we will attempt to make it happen. So that's our activity for the next couple of weekends. So we get underway. We get back underway with our DATV experimenters nights, probably more in the format we're used to, where there'll be interviews in the studio, and there'll be club projects and all sorts of things that we'll go through with the people that come up to the clubrooms. So we're back to, and there's a couple of magazine reviews that we'll be doing next week to start things off. So there's quite a few magazines that have come through when since COVID's been happening. So there's a fair bit of material that we've got for our next DATV Experimenters Night. So the videos for tonight, which are for our RF viewers, we've got Ham Radio 2.0, which is there's a great little segment on the best handheld in ham radio for 2020. So that's a video. There's another one by a wonderful lady called Becky Stern, who is all about really short little video, but really punchy and just homes in on what's involved with getting your ham radio license. Whether it's this is American, but it's the principles of getting your ham radio license is still relevant for Australia, in fact any country. Then we'll get to ham radio shack grounding, bonding and shielding. Now this is a patron's pick from Ham Radio Crash Course. So I don't think we're going to get all the way through that one, because that's over an hour, that particular one. But they go through everything you wanted to know about grounding, bonding and shielding. So that's our videos for tonight. So I bid you 73. Have a great week. Stay safe. Stay COVID safe. And we get back underway next week at from 7:30 with the DATV Experimenters Night. So we'll catch you then, 73, and have a great rest of the week.